Thank you all for joining for this week's Dental Venture Capital pitch. We've got some exciting companies that are pitching today. We've got Sam Rockwood from Woods Dental, Lauren Fang from Medicent DDS, Chad Rasmussen from Tooth Pillow, Matthew Hernandez from One Click Referral, and Michael Negru from EnvoDent. For those that don't know me, my name is Travis Rodgers. I am the founder, CEO of Dr. DDS. I started in dental about 20 years ago, and we're a dental venture studio. One of our main brands, which is the focus today, is really helping startups find investors, advisors, customers, and partners. We take startups from idea all the way through to exit. We've got large groups on LinkedIn. And I started this group, actually, I was about to start a venture capital fund in dental. And what I found was and I ended up working in dental venture capital for the first venture fund out there. And I learned one of the underserved markets is really the startup companies. And so that's why I started the advisory group for dental venture capital, which really works with startups and coaches them all the way through the process. We have a process. We also implement tools to make their lives easier. We have databases and all kinds of resources. Again, doing it 20 years, we do everything from partner programs all the way through to their CRM and everything in between. We have a large community online of folks that are a part of the group, as well as a large community of 5,000 subscribers on our Dental Venture Capital newsletter. So today we're going to start with Matthew Hernandez from One Click Referral. So Matthew, I'm going to unmute you, and if you want to share your screen, and let's talk about One Click Referral.
Right on, I got you here. Let's get the screen share here. All right, let's get to my presentation. Perfect. So what One Click Referral is, catch line for One Click Referral is never lose another patient. So in the dental industry, that's always been the issue, losing patients. What do we do right now? Send a patient with a referral that's got a paper in it. One Click Referral fixes that. It's automated, it's autonomous, it handles everything that you need to in one amazing software platform. So here's our investor presentation. There's myself, Matthew Hernandez, president, down here below, connecting dental and medical practices. So let's get on with the presentation. All right, so what's the problem? Lost revenue. When you send a patient out, what happens? Patients lose their referral. I don't know how many times I've had this happen to where patient goes to a practice and they don't have a clue, where am I going? I don't know where my referral went because it was a paper referral. It probably got lost in a purse, under the car seat, dog ate it, who knows? Never actually get to that referring practice. So what happens is you lose revenue. Outside of revenue, you got wasted time. You have to have team members manage these referrals. An individual's got to handwrite these things. And we're still doing it to this day. I'll get to what I do later on in this presentation so you understand how I know this. But that's exactly what happens. Somebody's got to write it out. Somebody's got to send an email. It's got to be protected. It's got to be secured. It's a lengthy process. And the health consequences, patients don't show up. Ideally, we would like to have all patients show up for these referrals, but how many times do they actually show up? Around 75% of the time. 35% of referrals that are made, patients just don't show up. And it's because of that reason. They lose the referral. They lost interest. There's no urgency after they walk out that door. There's nothing connecting them to where they're supposed to go other than that piece of paper. That's a lot of faith that gets into that little piece of paper. Market opportunity. U.S. market opportunity, dental industry generating around 20 plus billion. Total addressable market is 154 million, and a serviceable addressable market is 38 million. I got 158,000 general dentists, 23,000 dental specialists, and about 7,000 labs. Doesn't even talk about the medical industry and the $8.8 billion. That's amazing what a referral platform can do for both markets. Going into the solution. So what One Click Referral does, essentially, again, you never lose another referral. It's not so linear in a sense that we're focused on going from a GP to a specialist. This is, I think, where a lot of people have missed the boat. The way One Click Referral is designed is it goes from doctor to doctor. It does not matter if you're a DDS, a DMD, MD, it literally doesn't matter. If you're a dentist or you're a practicing provider, put it this way, and you send out a referral, you need One Click Referral. The system will never lose your patient ever. Outside of that, we also tackle laboratories, medical and dental laboratories. I've been in the dental field for 26 years now, and yeah, laboratory slips are another pain because it comes with another piece of paper, and God forbid you put a piece of water on it. So this is our digital platform that connects. one-click referrals product family. So this is a screenshot of what the version that we have currently looks like. It has a ton of contents in there about KPIs, what you want to look at when a referral comes in so your team does not lose them. For example, right now, we've got this little space right here of unscheduled referrals. It says 10. You don't want to have unscheduled referrals. If you see any red in there, your team should go after that. The entire product and platform was designed around the thought process of getting those patients taken care of while the urgency has been stressed so you don't lose out on that next production. So you get faster referrals, more revenue, and it's paperless. Who doesn't want that? All right, let's go to the next one here. Value to customers. It makes the referral sticky. It goes from one office to the next. It's not going anywhere. It's going to show up in their platform instantly. It shows up with an email, a text message on the other side, whether it's an internal, pay attention to this, internal referral versus external referral. Our platform is designed for either or. It's not just external, internal to external. It's all dependent upon you. If you're an emerging DSO, if you're a multi-group practice, or if you're just a solo provider, it tackles the entire workflow. Saves you time and money. Facilitates communication. We've got an internal messaging system we've put a lot of time and effort into developing. We've got real-time patient status, so we can see the disposition of our patients. Where are they? Every time a referral gets sent out, if I'm on the referring side and I send a patient out, did they even get there? I don't know, because we just don't. It's like an honor system. We have to call the other office and say, hey, did they ever show up? Our system tracks that from the beginning to treatment complete. Potential referral growth opportunities, maintains HIPAA privacy compliancy, health history forms. This is what's even more amazing. Nobody wants to go from practice to practice and fill out new patient forms. We hate it. It's not even efficient in a dental office. So this solves that problem. Once you put them in our system and we send the referral, the entire chart goes with them. HIPAA compliant, it's perfect. And we've got insurance verification as well as another module that we can add on to it. So you don't want to have to worry about allocating resources of team members to verify if the insurance is effective. We've got that covered too, all in one spot. Key differentiators, right? Integration into the practice management software. EagleSoft, Open Dental, Dentrix Ascend, Dolphin. We've got a few other integrations in the EMR software area. That's amazing. And this is called read and write capability. We want to make sure that it connects to your patient in their chart specifically. Just pushing something to a practice is archaic, almost as archaic as just having a simple piece of paper, but we've got the integrations for it. Linked to the largest database in the country. We've got our own database that will connect you to doctors in your area and updates based on a doctor's NPI. So you'll be able to market to these referring doctors in the system itself. So you don't have to go online and Google and track and see when a new doctor showed up around the corner. Our database will allow you to network within itself. That's outstanding. On top of that, we've got integrated with most insurance companies, so we can pull insurance information. Most of the insurance providers, Delta Dental, Regents, MetLife, Blue Cross, we can pull data from and verify if your patient's acceptable and valid. That's a big thing too, by the way. People don't have their jobs or something happens, they move from one job to another, and you send out the referral. Again, the next practice has to go and commit resources to finding out if that patient's insurance is valid. And that's a time waster and a money loss. And it's also integrated with the laboratory to complete the communication. Communicating from the doctor to the lab is another big issue. What do we do now? We text message and we phone call. Half the time they're not even there. They're small little laboratories, or even the big ones. They just don't have the time to commit to educating the practice of where they're at. Send you an email when we find out where your case is at. This system allows both parties to communicate in real time. All right, and an integrated application. We've got an app as well. Yeah, we've got a Google Chrome app, which is perfect. It's just like the word says, one click. You click on that button, the application shows up, put your patient information in there, reads from your EMR, and send it out. The idea is to make it seamless. If it's not, they're not going to use it. We've solved that problem as well. How do we get this done? Again, specialists. This is to get more case acceptance. The approach is direct sales, word of mouth, education, basically how this works out. Referring dentists and doctors, they get their portion of the case, you get more revenue. Who doesn't want more revenue? That's an issue. Referrals for a specialist is the only way they survive. I've put together many specialty practices myself. I've actually done it the hard way. Try to market on Google. What happened? It takes months. I've had it take over a year to finally get enough patients to keep the doors open for an entire Monday through Friday. That's ridiculous. If you're tackling the referrals in this platform, you're going to get more case acceptance and you're going to get more referrals accurately and today. That's important. Dental medical labs, referred cases, large profit opportunities, right? You are able to find out exactly where everything is at in real time. That's massively valid. And then the dental medical companies refer cases and sell products. So you can leverage the industry relationships for exposure. that's where our database comes in place. We'll be able to find everybody at the click of a button. All right, so it goes to myself here. Matthew Hernandez. I'm a third generation denturist. A denturist is an individual specific. He's got a license to practice dentistry in the state of Washington. Basically, what I can do is I can replace missing teeth. That's it. That's my scope of practice. I went to a couple different schools. Third generation. My dad was a dentist as well as a denturist and grew it to a DSO of 35 dental practices. I had 5 dental laboratories and I had a mobile dental practice. I was partnered up with that with my family. I created 2 previous DSOs, and currently I'm the director of operations at a large dental practice in North Seattle, Mukilteo, Everett area, which is really amazing. I do coaching, consulting, and building out bigger companies from beginning to exit. So that's what I am. Dr. Brent Boyce, he was one of our investing founders in the very beginning, AZ Endo. So yeah, he believed in the product. The idea initially was for a GP to a specialist. The versions that we have currently is taking it well beyond the GP to dentist to specialist idea. So now we're talking about blasting into the future for any dentist to any dentist. This is what's amazing about the evolution of technology, especially in dentistry. We've got our chart here, we've got all of our individuals, we've got myself, we've got a whole team of people behind us. Here's our board of advisors, Dr. Brent Boyce. We've got other people in here, venture capitalists. What we're looking at in terms of cost, it varies. Ideally, office to office, $297 per month is the total price for the practice. You're going to add in each additional office within an emerging DSO or a multi-group practice. You're looking at $97 a month. These are initial thought process trajectory. And then if you go into the laboratories, we've got a $575 fee, and it's free for the monthly use. We want them to be able to communicate. I've been in the dental laboratory setting. You're a small dental practice or a dental laboratory, your costs are pretty low. So we want to make sure it's affordable so they can connect to each other, and it's getting usability. That's the problem. And we want to make sure that they use this product. Annual gross sales. Now, this projection I love because it's only thinking about dentist to dentist. It's thinking about the small scale. This doesn't factor in the reality of DSOs, which we've already been in communications with. DSOs out there from the biggest of the biggest, Heartland to Aspen to Affordable, Clear Choice, you name it. There are some big ones out there that are salivating over something like this absolutely right now. And this little 330 practice here in year 1, which is we're now 2024, can exceed to thousands within. It's actually more on us on the ramp up and the growth of scale. So we can take this number and probably triple or if not quadruple what those practices would be in the first year, just because of where things are. What the company is looking to raise is $2.5 million to develop, market, and for sales, with an estimated growth factor for the initial year of 5 million by 2025. So this includes the cost of development, operating costs, and some sales and marketing. Honestly, I don't think a lot of that money would need to be going into sales and marketing just because of who we have already existing on who's interested. So ideally hitting DSOs, tackling the issue of their referral process, which is rampant across the country. It's not just DSOs, it's not just little practices, it's everybody. And when you have something like that, you've got some almost a hockey stick ramp. I don't like saying that. I've been in dentistry too long. It's almost too good to be true when you say things like that. But when you dealt with big DSOs like we have, they're hungry for this right now. And that's why we're looking to raise the capital. Here's another slide of individuals that have been interested in us from Dental Intel, Patterson, Rectangle Health, Weave even, and I've used most of these products, including now I'm using most of these products right now. So I would love to see one-click referral integrated into it. There's one on here, it's a more recent acquaintance for another SaaS dental company that is hungry for what we have as well. So we're in negotiations with them as well. But again, it's a need. It's something that needs to happen. 2.5 million, again, is what we're looking for. And we feel that's sufficient to get us to where we need. So if you have any other questions or interested in learning more about the product, this is my information here. There's my phone number and my email. And Travis is on mute.
I am. Thank you, Matthew. Great presentation. All right. Chad from Tooth Pillow.
Awesome. Thanks, Travis. Good to be with everybody here. Sorry, let me adjust my screen size. Just 1 second. My name's Chad Rasmussen. I'm the founder and CEO of Tooth Pillow, and I'm excited to share this with you today. There is a big problem that a lot of people are maybe unaware of, and that is that their jaws are getting smaller. There's over 1 billion people worldwide who have underdeveloped or small jaws. Now, those small jaws can lead to sleep and breathing disorders, which can be life-threatening. And again, most people that have this condition are unaware of it, and they also lack access to proper treatment. So at Tooth Pillow, we solve that. To dive a little bit deeper into the problem, Here's obviously just a visual indicator of a small jaw, retruded chin, retrognathia, etc. And when the jaws are back, the functional airway space is compromised, and so it's difficult to breathe. That difficulty to breathe then can lead to difficulty in sleeping, which then can lead to a whole bunch of other health issues: anxiety, depression, heart disease, ADHD, et cetera, and of course, none the least of which is premature death. As far as small jaws, there's one recent study that came out that showed as many as 93% of kids have malocclusion. Now, malocclusion would be caused by, again, small jaws. Maxilla mandible are too small, so the teeth are all crowded and overlapping one another. And so we look to aim to fix that earlier. So how do we do that? ToothPillow, it's a platform for screening. We then offer personalized treatments and virtual support to promote this. We've been in business for 2 years. We have a network of providers throughout the US, and we're expanding into Canada as well as Australia. Here's all of our affiliated providers. They work for us as associates. They also have a day job, which is their own private practices. And so it made it nice and convenient. Where there is a location for these patients to go to if they want to be seen in person, though a lot of this can be done out of the convenience of their own home. So there's an easy online assessment that the patient fills out. Then they'll meet with their doctor virtually, get a personalized video response, doing an asynchronous exam and evaluation with them, and then treatment is shipped to the patient's home. And what treatment includes, it's a 24-month treatment plan. They're overseen, like I said, by a licensed dentist in their state with a physical location. They're a living, breathing, functioning general dentist or an airway specialist or orthodontist. They're also, part of the treatment plan is a myofunctional therapy. That's exercises to help correct the tongue and lip function so that it can promote proper development of the upper and lower jaw. And then we have a dedicated support team pretty much 24/7 to be able to guide these parents, promote good compliance and success with treatment. Our cost of treatment is $2,000 if it's virtual, or if we want to do this hybrid approach where they also get in-office care alongside that, then it's $4,000. We do enjoy about a 75% margin. And currently we're only treating patients 3 to 12, though we launched our pilot program yesterday for teens and adults. So that is currently underway in Utah, one market, and then we'll expand that to 2 or 3 other markets. And then later this fall, we're going to work on the launch of our ToothPillow Baby program. Currently, we're generating $1 million a month in new treatment revenue, and we're just getting started. So as we look forward to next year, we anticipate helping 25,000 patients, which would be about $50 million in revenue, and then growth going on beyond that. We have an incredibly talented and experienced executive and corporate team. I was a senior executive at a company that just IPO'd a few years ago. And then after that exit, I launched this company. So we currently value the company at $30 million, which we feel is a discount off of that, considering that we're generating over $10 million a year right now and at a 3 to 5x multiple. So our valuation is currently at $30 million, and we are raising $3 million right now in our seed round. And just to dive in a little bit deeper of a successful story, the American Dental Association does ask all dentists to screen their patients for sleep and breathing disorders. And sadly, most dentists are unaware of this or don't know how to do this and don't know what to do next. And my family was one of those people that just went on unknowingly suffering. Our dentist didn't know any better. But I'll tell you the story of my 2 littlest there, Jaylee and Jacoby, and they're twins. And at the time, Jacoby was 12, so he's here on the right side, and Jaylee's on the left. You can see Jaylee has a little bit of a misaligned smile there, and then Jacoby has a whole bunch of problems going on. Crossbite, obviously that lower incisor is getting pushed out of the bone. He had excessive cavities, so he had early extractions, and chapped lips, to name just a few of the problems going on in his mouth. Now, okay, traditionally, we might just wait or send him to an ortho appointment early. But as we unpeel this onion and say, what is the problem here? And it was simply that his upper and lower jaws were underdeveloped. He had suboptimal growth and development, and we needed to intervene earlier. So we also went one step further. We monitored Jacoby's sleep. Remember, small jaw is poor airway. Bad airway is poor sleep. And this is a result of his home sleep test. That arrow is pointing to 7.6 apneas or hypopneas per hour. That means that 76 times that night of sleep, he suffocated for at least 10 seconds or longer. And that was causing him to have these frequent arousals. Now, what was happening during the day with Jacoby is he was disruptive at school. His teacher was complaining. He got notes home, emails home, and so bad that the teacher even stopped my wife in the carpool lane one day and said, "Your son is disrespectful." And that's when it had gotten too far. Unfortunately, we got our son into this treatment. Here's an example of one of these guidance appliances that we prescribe to the many hundreds of patients every month that come through our program. And the child will wear this 1 to 2 hours during the day, plus while they sleep, and they'll perform a series of those myofunctional exercises. Jacoby did that. And after 10 months, his crowded and crooked mouth started developing properly. His jaws got larger and his teeth started straightening on their own. We didn't have to do brackets and wires or anything else. And it started going in the right direction just through that little simple exercise of wearing the appliance and then doing those mouth and lip exercises. The better after photo is this. He went from being the quote unquote problem child in his class to then, you can't maybe read that on the screen, but this is the student of the month for his elementary school. They had called us, invited us there to this assembly, and where my son received this award. So I was just one of, again, millions of families and fathers out there whose child was unknowingly suffering from small jaws, poor airway, poor sleep, and creating all these other daytime and health issues. So thankfully now we have a platform to help so many people get access to this. So we're really excited. Hopefully some of you guys has maybe struck a chord with you for your own families. If you want to get screened, go to toothpillow.com, click on the button, "Is my child a candidate?" And if you want to get involved with our mission, go ahead and reach out.
All right. Thank you, Chad. Chad is a part of the Dental Venture Capital program, advisory program, and I am very impressed with your team and the product. And it gives me chills with the impact that you're making on the world. So thank you, Chad. Up next, we've got Sam Rockwood from Woods. And Sam is also part of the Dental Venture Capital program. He's got a great product, some great feedback on in the initial concept of what he's working on here. So thank you, Sam.
Yeah, thank you, Travis. And thanks to Chad and Matthew. Great presentation so far. Been really fascinating attending and glad to have some time I'm excited to talk a little bit about Woods. My background is I come from the insurance side. I know that's not the friend necessarily of the industry oftentimes, but I spent 12 years working for large insurance companies from Humana to Delta Dental. And I saw firsthand how these billion-dollar insurance companies would mistreat individual practices, sometimes purposely, sometimes just because they're large and inefficient. And part of Wood's mission is to help level the playing field a little bit through providing software, providing data to the individual practices in a way that they can better perform and be more efficient. And we're going to start with payments because it's a very inefficient space. So first, I'll just quickly talk about the team. Like I said, I worked as an actuary for Humana, Blue Shield, Delta Dental. The last 5 years I spent working for a tech company called Level that is building a benefits platform to help employees get their benefits easier, more transparently. They started with dental, also went into vision and many other benefits. So I worked there doing actuarial work, but then also learned a great deal about building great apps and money movement, and brought on to the team so far, or a small team so far, with Mithras, an excellent engineers, had experience working in building engineering teams at other startups. And then a good friend of mine, Tony, is an advisor at this point who's worked on both sides of the aisle, so to speak, where he's been on the DSO side as well as working on the insurance side. His network and his knowledge is going to be very helpful here. So a few numbers that many of you are familiar with. There's 180,000 dental offices in the US, approximately 165 billion every year in the US as far as dental industry spend. You may not be as familiar with these last couple of that. There's 430 million claims, dental claims, reimbursed by insurance every year. And what's crazy is that there's approximately 340 million spent to pay those claims. And we're not talking about the claim itself, but the logistics of printing and the postage to send the claims. This is an incredibly inefficient market that we're going to work on first. Those of you who have worked in dental offices are familiar with this. You're very familiar with the pain points. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how this works, that most of the payments from insurance are coming in the mail. And this is not ideal because there's a significant delay. It's not secure. A lot of offices I talk to say they've had problems with theft or embezzlement with the checks. We already talked about how this is a huge waste of paper and postage. Then if you're working in an office, you may have seen in the last 5 to 7 years, then these virtual credit cards have cropped up. And this is something where an insurance company will basically hand off the payments side of the business to a Zealous or EcoHealth or one of these payment companies that they are now sending a credit card number in the mail. And oddly, it still comes in the mail, but now instead of getting a check, there's a credit card number that the dentist or the office staff will put that information into their terminal in their office. Okay, that's a little more secure perhaps, but now they're taking usually 2 to 3%, sometimes up to 5% interchange fee. And none of the offices I talk to like this option, but it is out there and it's growing. Now, electronic funds transfer, this is a bank-to-bank electronic sending the money. This is actually what is being promoted by the ADA. The ADA actually has a full page of webinars trying to educate dentists on how to enroll in EFT. The Affordable Care Act requires that health plans make this an option for providers. And a 2023 CAQH study shows that in dentistry, it's still only 21% of the payments from insurance are EFT. In medical, it's closer to 70 to 80%. And so this is something that I've been digging into, talking to my network in insurance, talking to a lot of different dental offices, trying to find out what is the deal here. What it comes down to is it's difficult to enroll. It's one of the main things. And if you are a dental office, you typically are receiving patients from, could be 15, 20, even 30 different insurance companies. And so you're getting checks from all of them. And to get enrolled in EFT for all of those companies takes a tremendous amount of time and effort. Number one, to research how to enroll, but then number two, to do the paperwork to get set up. So a lot of offices have just decided to not do that. Now, the other thing that is a big pain point here is the EOB, hunting for the EOB, as I've heard a couple of times, is that the explanation of benefits comes in the mail with a check or with a virtual credit card. So they can use that to reconcile their payments. But when you're getting paid electronically, you can get the EOB electronically, but many offices are not set up or sophisticated enough to be able to do that. Often the most common way of getting the EOB when you're getting paid electronically is to just go onto the insurance company's website, which isn't a terrible idea. But again, if you're working with 20 different insurance companies, you have to log into all these different portals. Because I'm an actuary, I love data, and I talk to a lot of different office staff to find out why is it they're getting paid electronically, or why are they taking checks. A few more statistics here is that from the surveying that I've done, 65% of those that prefer EFT have been unable to enroll with a majority of their payers. So these offices, they like getting paid EFT, but they still haven't been able to enroll with most of their payers. And then half of those that prefer EFT have not enrolled because of the difficulties of reconciliation. And also many of them believe that the payer doesn't actually offer it. And then 81% of those that prefer checks, they say they prefer a check because it's easier to reconcile and they want to avoid the fees of the virtual credit card. So what I'm trying to build this picture of, and what I was building in my mind as I was surveying all these offices, is that EFT could be the best way to get paid. It is the fastest and the most secure, but we need an easier way to enroll, and we need an easier way to reconcile. And so that's where Woods comes in. And our first two products that we're launching this year are the Woods Enrollment and the Woods Dashboard. Woods Enrollment, pretty simple. You tell us the insurance companies you want to get paid EFT for. You give us your office information, your banking information one time, and then our software is built to enroll you in those different insurance companies for you. So you choose the ones you want to get enrolled in, give us the information, and you're eliminating your paper checks, eliminating the virtual credit cards and the fees with the Woods Enrollment. Now, if you're paid electronically, again, we're talking about the reconciliation being a difficult piece. We will connect to the practice management software, and we can verify the claims that were sent to each of the payers and assure that the office is getting the electronic EOB sent back, the ERA sent back, so that then we can match them up and say, here's your EOB for this payer, here's your EOB for this payer. And in the cases where you were paid exactly what you thought you were going to be paid, then it just will reconcile it for you automatically. And that's where a lot of the fun comes in for me, is a lot of the math that goes into tying those together. So you'll have all of your payers in one place, all of your EOBs. This is a tremendous time saver for the office staff. They can spend their time on revenue making tasks rather than reconciling these payments. All right, I think that is primarily it. I'm just going to explain briefly the timeline that this month, we're very early on here. This month we've been building out our prototype, and that's gone well. We have a few hiccups, but the prototype is built to verify, hey, prove out, can this be done? And we are on our way to doing this. The beta is being built right now. Plan is by August, end of August, we have a handful of offices already lined up to test for us. We're going to put the software in their hands for August and September, be refining things based on their feedback, and then plans to launch the public site in October. And we are currently talking with potential investors, and we'll wrap up seed funding in November once we have the site live and a handful of customers on board, so that we can build out the full-time team and throw some of that money at the marketing and the sales team to go into 2025. All right, I think that's it. So there's my email. If you'd like to learn more, feel free to shoot me an email, or feel free to ask questions. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you, Sam. And final presentation, Lauren Fang, Medicent DDS, the AI pharmacist in your pocket. And after Lauren goes, I'm going to open up the lines if we have a few more minutes for questions. So thank you, Lauren.
All righty. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I'm Lauren. I'm the president and co-founder of Medicent DDS. And we're on a mission to end smile denial. What does that mean? Imagine a patient, let's call her Ellie, sees her dentist and gets prescribed Motrin for pain. What the dentist doesn't recognize, though, is that she's already taking another NSAID medication, Celebrex, and mixing the two causes a stomach bleed so serious that she ends up in the hospital needing 2 units of blood. This is a real case from just a few months ago here in LA. And as the daughter of dentists, I was shocked to learn just how often people get hurt from routine procedures. Even my co-founder, Dr. Chan, who consults for the state dental board, was appalled by how many patients die in the dental chair each year. But we know from experience that dentists don't have the right tools to take the necessary precautions efficiently. Handbooks take too long, Google isn't reliable, and phone tag with a pharmacist can take an hour out of your day. Even more, dentists often don't have access to their patients' medical records. This is why US dentists are losing over $6 billion each year simply in lost production time. Our digital drug handbook is designed for and by dentists to save time and money while also saving patients' lives. We are the AI-driven pharmacist in your pocket that every dentist needs to make informed clinical decisions. So to put it into perspective, imagine a hospital setting where a surgeon is about to operate. Before the surgery, patients seen by the internist, the nurses, and anesthesiologists, all ensuring basically that everything's in order, the patient's well prepared, they know exactly what meds the patient's taking, have everything set up. In dentistry, it's usually just one clinician handling it all. And so while there's dental assistants, front office staff, hygienists, they can provide support, but at the end of the day, it's the dentist who's responsible for everything, for everything from asking what the patient's meds are to understanding the complete medical picture before their treatment or prescribing. And this is where our platform comes into play. In practice, how does this work? Imagine back to our story, Ellie walks in with her medication list, the office staff or dentist searches her name up in our system. If we're integrated with their practice management system, we pull her med list from their records. Otherwise, anyway, we save her most recent list in our system. Even for new patients, creating her med report takes less than a minute thanks to our lightning fast autocomplete. And down the road, when we partner with health information exchanges, we'll be able to offer Ellie's most up-to-date medication list from her healthcare provider directly. It takes seconds to create this printable, time-stamped med report with all the relevant info her dentist needs, like how Celebrex is an NSAID, or how the beta blocker she's taking has local anesthetic contraindications. The doctor can literally be handed it as he's walking into the room or pull it up from any workstation. Next, when Ellie's dentist is thinking of prescribing Motrin, say, go to our RX Tech tool to see important prescribing information, dentistry-specific dosages, crucial drug interactions, don't prescribe Motrin to a patient taking Celebrex, and then what are your alternatives? If Ellie's dentist had used our product, she would have avoided the hospital, and instead of needing a malpractice attorney, he would have saved time and made more money in the process. And so we launched our V1 in April, and we've honestly been thrilled by the positive response. Just hearing from hundreds of dentists during our customer discovery phase confirmed that we're addressing a real need with no similar solutions on the market. And the 65 dental providers currently using our product love how much time it saves them and how it provides peace of mind regarding safety and liability. People also love how our monthly subscription model scales with their practice size, and our entry price point is a no-brainer. Honestly, who wouldn't buy it when the product literally pays for itself? I didn't mention earlier, but we also provide tips on enhancing revenue because we're coming from a practicing dentistry perspective. For instance, a single night guard that we can help point out to them that they can evaluate the patient for if a particular med that they're taking causes bruxism or teeth grinding, which is super common with ADHD and psych meds. That alone can pay for the program for an entire year. We've also been shocked by the huge interest from the academic community, so both students and faculty alike. We're already in the initial stages of piloting at Rutgers and Case Western, which we honestly weren't really expecting until years 2 or 3. So talking about market, our initial customers are the 500,000 dental care providers in the US, targeting 3 main segments of that market: private practitioners, dental and hygiene schools, and DSOs, which many of you guys know is a rapidly growing segment of the market. And that's where we see real potential to scale our product. At the last dental group practice meeting, we learned a lot about how these organizations operate and their priorities. As most of the fact that they're one big consolidated group means that it's a whole lot easier for regulators to target them versus 1,000 individual practices. And going into that meeting, we knew that obviously they care about the bottom line, but we didn't realize how important compliance and liability were to them, especially when they're mainly hiring these fresh young grads who we know from interviewing and working with them that these dental students are not receiving the most thorough education these days, especially when it comes to medications. Literally ask any educator, even the dental students are first to admit, meaning they are not only slow when they're starting out practice, but they're also making mistakes simply from lack of education and experience. So our solution, which can turn this 10 to 30-minute process per patient into less than 5 minutes or even under 1 minute, while also covering their butts legally, regulatorily, that's a big sell. And we know this problem in marketing inside out because our team has over a century of dental, pharmacy, and development experience. We also have world-class advisors in dentistry, infectious disease, pharmacy, interoperability, and marketing who are helping guide us every step of the way. And most importantly, we've previously built and launched successful revenue-generating companies, which is why in just a year and a half, we've already achieved milestones like participating in the RadiStar R Accelerator last year, winning on Demo Day. Last year, we were also a finalist at the John G. Watson Quick Pitch Competition at San Diego Innovation Day. And right now, we're currently a finalist for the National Women's Fast Pitch Competition, where we'll be competing live again in San Diego this September. From our experience, we also know how to build a Disney compared to a Knox or a Carnival Fair. We curated our own database of over 13,000 drugs tailored specifically for dentistry. Unlike competitors where dentists are bombarded with all this irrelevant info written for physicians, pharmacists, not dentists, and they have to look up one med at a time, we are the first to introduce AI tools to offer a streamlined, integrated, and patient-centric experience, saving time and getting straight to what matters. And of course, we timed it. We're 10 times faster than even Google in getting the info to the dentist. Plus, we're pioneering the way for dentists to easily access their patients' medical records, which we know is a huge issue. Everyone today just accepts as the status quo. But we're just getting started. Every tool on our roadmap furthers our vision of bridging medicine and dentistry and solves these universal pain points completely overlooked in the field today. And our next release, set for the start of 2025, marks the entry of our Gen AI med reports, pediatric dosing calculator, and digital patient med education. And everyone here knows that the real pot of gold we're sitting on is the data and data analytics. So we're starting with private practice dentists and scaling through DSOs and schools with our B2B SaaS model. And we just opened our 1 million pre-seed round to build and launch our AI and accelerate our go-to-market strategy. Previously, we raised $280K in an angel round, and now we're ready to scale. So the money's going to two key areas. First, for product development, integration and interoperability are our main focuses. We're working on integrating with practice management systems like Open Dental, which we already can do today, Dentrix, Axiom, EgoSoft. We're also looking to partner with health information exchanges like Commonwealth Health Alliance to access over 300 million patient health records. And this isn't just a game changer for us. Again, it speaks to our vision of revolutionizing how dentistry connects with the broader scope of medicine, just like one click. Really amazing work. So the second key area for this investment is marketing. We'll be able to attend more conferences, engage with dentists, and really forge channel partnerships. We also plan to become an AGD PACE certified CE provider, as well as begin advertising in journals, blogs, podcasts, and more. In fact, we're already partnered with the editorial teams at Dr. Bicuspid, Dentistry IQ, and others to roll out medication-focused content for their readers, which apparently is in very high demand. And so we're building a world where no one is denied the right to smile, patients and dentists. We hope you join us. Thank you.
Presentations across the board. This is, you can tell you've done a few of these, Lauren. You've done those pitches, right? We got the whole gamut, everything from the beginning to deep in it. And this is all about at-bats. And more than anything, what we're doing here is trying to build a community around the startups and the support. It's not just about the money and the investment, but it's also advisors and industry experts and helping further the market through innovation. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. Appreciate everybody that joined. Thank you to all the people that pitched. You all did a fantastic job. Excited to see the innovations that are going on in the dental industry, and appreciate everybody that attended. And we will continue to do these events on an ongoing basis.